Call the meeting to order.
As required by the Open Public Meetings Act 1975, adequate notice this meeting was provided on January 9th, 2025 by publication of notice in the Express Times and the Hunter County Democrat and posting of said notice in municipal building on the same date. Mayor Barsney?
Here.
Mr. Baylor?
Here.
Mr. Beam?
Here.
Mr. Kenneth?
Here.
Ms. McDermott? Here.
Please stand for a flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting, regular meeting of January 16th. Anybody want to make the motion?
Make that motion.
Second. Any questions, comments, deletions, corrections? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott? Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept the treasurer's report, January bill list and interim bill list.
Make that motion.
Maybe want a second? I'll second. Anybody have anything they want pulled? Questions about it?
I just want to make a comment on the one electric bill we got here. $5,800, okay, for the month of, I don't know, January. And then I heard today on the news in this summer, electric rates are going up 20%.
Yeah, they got it.
So I think Shannon, we need to change that line item for electric, you know, so other than that, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. Anybody else? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott? Yes.
I'll make a motion. We accept the tax collector's tax and sewer report for January. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Anybody have questions on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott? Yes.
Police Department report. Rich, you have anything to add to your report?
No, it's a busy month for rest of 26. Nothing else, so anybody has any questions?
Chief, what's that, shoplifting in the normal run of the mill, just a little above that?
Majority is shoplifting, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to ask? I went over a lot with you last night, at the budget meeting, so. DPW, Joe, you have anything?
Nothing to add, only if anybody has any questions.
How's our, salt situation? You got some coming in? We got enough?
Yeah, we're doing good. I got half the building and there's 4 loads coming first thing next week.
Okay, alright. I don't think we're out of the salting issue yet, but
No.
I'm not seeing any big storms on the horizon either.
It's like a bunch of,
Little things.
All I know is now whenever I see one of your trucks go by and the salt's coming out, I see dollar bills flying on the back of the salt.
yeah. I'm trying to keep it in the bank as much as possible, but it ain't working.
Okay. Anybody have anything else, Joe? Township clerk's report?
I don't have anything additional.
Nothing additional. Anybody have any questions?
I'm sorry, I do actually. I was talking with. Get this straight. Somebody from Canyon. Apparently. Hasn't there been a question about there's 2 invoices? And we owe them on something, anything?
Oh, yeah.
One is from the previous year. The rabies claim. Have we straightened that out now or
That,
not?
that part is straightened out, but we haven't gotten to, have a meeting to discuss the rest of them.
Okay, I only heard about the 2 rabies clinics.
Yeah, that is
I'm
correct.
trying to think who brought that to my attention, but. They said that the problem why there was 2 was, one was from the previous year, because they said we hadn't paid like 2023 yet.
Yeah, Shannon was gonna do a look back on that rabies clinic, invoice. She didn't think that she had received it, but she was gonna look, I don't know if you got to. go back to that. But I've yet to been able to schedule, a meeting with Amanda to go over the rest of it, so.
Okay, all right.
working on it.
I can't remember who from there. And it only came across accidentally the conversation, but I was like, no, we pay our bills. But apparently not that one.
$1,700.
Okay, zoning and code enforcement report. Paul, you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, actually, I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to review it yet. I'm looking, but it looks pretty A-okay to me.
And the ACO report, well, court report first.
I didn't see one in here, did I?
Yeah, it was on, it's probably there.
It came in late.
It came in today.
Tammy got it separate.
Uh,
Actually,
Looks
looks like this.
Fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be, right? I haven't noticed myself. Actually, if we can talk about zoning for just one quick second. Lisa, did you share with, or did you see the last letter from the folks who own, or don't own Sammy's, but that collective letter about why, I mean, it sounded to me like they thought Jeff is supposed to be investigating the theft and all that other kind of stuff. Have you shared that with the chief and everybody, and everybody knows?
Yeah, it's in rid of it.
Okay. It's like, I'm like, what does Jeff have to do with, and all cameras and all that kind of footage and stuff?
Yeah, that's it.
Zero cooperation with that, too.
No, I'm sure there is and everything, but it's gonna, sooner or later, it's gonna come back to haunt us. And I was just making sure that everybody's
Yeah.
aware of it, because, I mean, for Jeff's role in it, it's not all of that role. So, okay.
Yeah.
ACO report.
On the court report, since it's now Lopat, us and Pohat, can we get a breakdown?
It's not Lopat, Pohat, it's Pohat and us, and then Lopat. They're not included.
Oh, that's right, yeah, okay, all right.
Next year, they're-
2026.
Next year, they're hoping to. Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen nothing out of the ordinary on this, court report.
Six snow geese. That is hard to say.
And just out of curiosity, what is Amanda done with the snow geese, or? She just goes up and says, yeah, it's a 6 snow geese, or is it dead? So you're removing it?
I don't know.
We don't
I'm
know.
just wondering if there hasn't been any since January 6th. I hope that, does that mean that this bird flu is starting to die out or what?
So,
Or the geese have just left the area, but. I mean, I see them laying around, I don't see, and again, I don't know that I would notice it, I don't see white carcasses laying in our fields like I've heard out in central PA and
Yeah.
stuff, so.
Okay. Looking for a motion to accept the police department report, DPW report, clerk's report, zoning and code enforcement report, the court report, and the ACO report.
I'll make it. A second.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes,
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes,
Committee reports. Lillian, you have anything?
no, I missed the meeting last month.
Oh, okay. Bill?
Nothing, that I got.
Brian?
I only have the affordable housing. I don't know if you want me to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm meeting with Bryce after the meeting. I've been in discussions with Jeff, about having some of their lights turned off at a certain time. The concern right now for some residents is the playground
Mhm.
will be lit and it's gonna be used. I spoke to Jeff about that and, he said the chief authorized them to be able to keep the lights on. And they can put a sign up and then residents could just call the police if it gets loud, which I didn't think is acceptable. So we are gonna go out there, we're gonna take some pictures of the lights that I think should be turned off. Just the ones by the playground where I see it being an issue in a couple months. But Jeff's, it seems like he's willing to work on it. With us, but. In the end, I mean, none of them have to be on, and that's pretty much what I told them. That's about it, but. You're still good with going out, thanks, that's it.
Okay. Paul?
no, nothing to report.
Bryce, you have anything to report tonight?
Sure. So to follow up on what Brian said, like, I guess we're gonna meet on the Mid-Out Willows and discuss the lights. I think the developer should be fine with the lights around the playground. I mean, that playground's a toddler playground. It's not, you know, originally the development had proposed a basketball court and that sort of thing, and that went away. It's just a
Yeah.
toddler playground, so can't imagine too many 5-year-olds out there at midnight. So why do they need lights? So
Yeah,
I think they should be pretty amiable about those lights. They were worried about security. You know, it's a living. You want lights in your house when you're pulling your park, driveway, so do they. So I can see why the lights should be on, but maybe not every single light.
yeah, like I told Jeff, I have pictures, I sent to some, I guess I'm gonna send you. I mean, it looks like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation out in some of their yards, and I do have a problem with, how bright some of them are, but I think it seems like they're willing to work on that.
Right, so we're gonna talk about that. They're also looking,
20% increase by June will make them start. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
light anyway.
Right.
You're right.
they're also looking to get some TCOs, especially on the community building, because they want to use that as their sales place, because they want to start the process of selling some of the units, because the affordable housing portion of it takes them longer, because they gotta do background checks and
They're
stuff.
renting though, by the way.
That's
Renting,
all-
sorry.
Yeah, that's
All
all.
because if people watch, they'll be saying, oh, they're selling them.
Yeah.
Sorry, rental. But they have to do, it's not just like a normal rental unit where you just walk in and start renting
Right.
tomorrow. There's a process, so they wanna get TCO to get the office set up and get going. So we had a meeting 22nd of January, told them that various things need to be done. One was the conservation easement paperwork. Has that been submitted to you, Lisa?
It's on the agenda tonight, it's in meeting packets.
Okay.
Submitted.
So that was one of the main items I told them that, there's some easements and paperwork that they need to get submitted. It's not just us doing inspections to make sure things are done appropriately, so they're working on that. On the 13th, I attended a Teams meeting with the New Jersey DOT on the Route 57 bridge over Lopakon Creek project. Representing Greenwich Township, they invited, obviously Lopak, because it's in Lopak. It impacts Greenwich because of how close it is to the Greenwich line. If you're familiar with it, it's basically halfway between Liberty and 519 is where the project is located at. They're gonna handle that project just like they're doing the other project down further on 57 that they've been doing for the last year or so. They're gonna have the red lights up and one lane closed at a time. They are thinking that they might have nighttime total closures with a reroute to Liberty to 519.
Except, I don't mean to interrupt. So this whole thing is not the 57 519 bridge?
No,
It's the little one further up?
yep. When we first got the notice, I thought it was the one
Yeah,
down
me
at
too.
519.
Me
It's
too.
not. It is the bridge, it's about halfway.
No, I know exactly which one. I've seen.
Halfway what, between Liberty and 519?
Yeah.
I know which one you mean now,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was the one at the intersection.
Yeah, me too. I was so happy that they were finally gonna get to work on that.
No,
So Mike, because I forgot and I didn't zoom out, how long, it shouldn't be anywhere near the length of time that went up by Castlegate.
they are anticipating, let me find the right notes here. 9 to 10 months.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Man, that's a small,
They are realigning it. Right now, there's a major skew on that. So they are realigning it. So they're gonna kind of make it not perpendicular, but more perpendicular.
wow, wow.
Lisa, you should have in your email all the documents that they show. There's a presentation. If you're interested, I can send it to you, or she can send it to you. There's a whole PowerPoint of what it looks like. It's a nice presentation that they made. I mean, it's,
Sure it
things
was.
take forever, you know. The PATCOM was well represented because obviously it's in their town. They're gonna keep us all apprised, their engineer, myself, just to make sure everybody's up to date with what's happening, what's going on. So like I said, the impact to Greenwich is going to be the traffic backing up from the red light. They don't anticipate it impacting either intersection because of the distance between the intersections. Like I said, they do potentially are gonna have a nighttime closure. They're trying to do like on a Friday night or something like that to try to keep the traffic to a minimum. But when they do that, it's gonna go Liberty to 519.
Right, so with that being said, Bryce, and again, it didn't become awful a few times. But besides impacting us and 57 is the main corridor for ambulances to the hospital. do they discuss that in there at all? Has that been any consideration?
They didn't really discuss that specifically, no. I mean, they're gonna have a red light, it's a temporary red light, is it gonna have the emergency switch on it? I don't think so. You know, I'm not sure how they handled the one down below with the emergency vehicle access, that's a lot bigger project.
Right.
You know, that impacted businesses and everything else. This one, there's no businesses, there's no driveways, there's no residences, you know, it's all,
What did you do then, going on Baltimore?
If it was, a thunder run, which we, in real emergency, we go have strikers down to Baltimore. And I wouldn't take my
That's not-
chances on getting caught into that.
That's not as much out of the way as 5-9.
No, way out of the way, right?
right,
So, I mean, it may just be, at least for us, everything goes out to 22 now.
Mhm,
But if Washington, Mansfield, Oxford,
right,
36, they come straight down the gut. You know, and
the tractor trailer detour is the same one that they're having for the one that they just did, it's the long ass. Town 31
Right.
on 78,
which means we're having more traffic coming through.
no, yeah, I just see that pole on the
We're
corner
getting
of,
off of 78,
on Liberty Road going down again.
yeah.
Last year, a tractor trailer just popped that and down it went, so.
they're thinking to start November of 27. So it's not happening within the next year and a half. You know, it's
27, right?
27,
Yeah.
That's-
it's a ways down the road.
Can you imagine a
Almost
tractor
two.
trailer going
Two and a half
519 north and having to make the right onto Liberty? Despite the detour being set up, that's what they're gonna do?
I hope it tips.
Is there any talk about widening 57 and 519? That was years ago where they were gonna make it,
Don't widen it, they'll bring more trucks.
that was years.
Yeah,
ago.
I thought that's what this project was. I thought,
No, there is no widening, the only thing they're gonna do is make the shoulder, standard shoulder, it's not gonna be small shoulder, it's gonna be a standard shoulder, they're not looking at widening anything. So, long-term project, not a real big project, but it does have impact on
10
different
months.
people, everybody in Greenwich, so,
Oh my
not
God.
even though it's not in Greenwich, I wanted to make sure you all are aware that we had that meeting. Donna talked to Joe the other day about the FEMA projects on Lowe's Hollow and Dumont. We had to do some survey on Lowe's Hollow to do some plans on it. So we're gonna get that ball rolling. When is the decision gonna be made on the DOT grants? and
Well, that
getting
was
us-
the
getting us
next-
rolling?
Thing. We gotta figure out which one we have to commit to before we lose it this year. There is one, right?
Willow Grove.
Willow
Willow
Grove.
Grove, but it has
So-
to, just has to be awarded, and I think I misspoke last time. It only has to be awarded by November, not done by November.
Right, I can understand that, but even if we're going to award it, we need to know the soft cost numbers because it has to go in our budget.
Right, and we issued, back in middle of January, the budget memorandums for both the projects, so,
Last year,
no, this year.
oh, this year, okay.
January 14th, 2025, they're dated. Shannon should have those as
All
well.
right, you do Shannon, all right, make sure we have them when we get down to talking.
So we're anticipating on the Willow Grove one. Township funds be around just under 12,000. Is what we're anticipating there. The grant was 70,000. The estimated construction cost was 73,000. And then you can capture some soft costs, but not all soft costs. So there's a lot of things that you can't capture, and that's where a lot of that. It's 11.8, but I'll just run with 12.
12, no, that's good.
So, and then the Lowe's Hollow one was 8,900, so 9,000 was on that one, so. But yeah, those memos were issued and we have those, so.
Okay.
The only reason I ask is if you're gonna do the Lowe's Hollow one. Between the DOT grant and the FEMA section, that's all of Lowe's Hollow. And if we're gonna be out surveying one section. Why not do it all? But if you're not ready to do that project, that's fine. Just let us know. I don't think there's any rush right now to jump out there to get things done for the FEMA projects.
Jumping through their hoops.
Yeah, so, we don't wanna wait too long on the FEMA projects, but we can wait a little bit till to figure out, you guys go through the budget process and figure out what you wanna do.
Okay.
Okay? And then, last thing is the sewer subcommittee met on the 10th. The main item that was discussed there, and I'll see how many people cringe when I say this, was the possible idea of bringing back to the forefront the sewer project within downtown Stewartsville. If you remember, that was a really old project, you know, decade or two ago. The idea of these small lots, septic systems failing, hard to get them back up and running, you know, connecting that sewer. Funding that project potentially through a, you know, no to low interest loan type of concept. So my directive from the subcommittee was to come to you guys to bring it up to see if it's, you know, Brian was there, he was in the discussion, Paul was in the discussion, the rest of you were not, so, you know, the thought process, is it even worth even discussing? Even bring that back to the forefront, even think about it as a project to try to improve the people that we're talking about. And we don't know what it is right now. I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time going back to the old plans. We think it's somewhere between 120 and 170 people.
They're 133 or 135 homes.
Right, and we know that some people have already replaced their, you know, their septic systems, so we might need to change an ordinance to, because right now it says, the ordinances say you have to hook into it.
Mhm.
So it might be a need to change the ordinances. We obviously did an estimate back then of what the cost would possibly be. That would need to be updated so that we can start having the further discussions of with the assessors or with the attorneys to go forward with maybe pursuing these loans. So I'm gonna give you a number of what that might cost. Just so you have that number in your head. Not, if you wanna approve it, don't approve it, that's up to you guys, just wanna bring it to the
Is this the
conversation.
cost to figure out, or you're going total cost?
So this would be a cost for us to redo
Okay,
the engineer's cost estimate. And I'm gonna put an up to number on this, and the reason it's gonna be where it's at is, as I'm sure you're all aware, construction costs have been so volatile. Every project we do, the bids are all over the place. So we might actually have to maybe contact some people, some contractors or somebody to actually start talking some generic numbers, not for the project. So we think no more than 2,500, but we don't think it'll be. If we're just gonna do an estimate on our own, be half that. But we're concerned that we're gonna have to spend a lot of time researching recent numbers because they're so volatile. I mean, that project's so old, we can't use the estimate that was there. We'll have to look at the project a little bit and make sure it's still, you know, what was proposed is.
so we'd have to budget for that as well.
Right, that's something you would need to budget for to get the project rolling again.
Right, now, with that being said, I know at the end of the meeting, which I had missed Brian and I come in on it. Was Brad not looking part of the decision-making process? We need to know what it's going to cost in homeowner hookup, the value of the properties and things of that nature, so that we have a general idea of what the revenue is to pay it back.
There was discussions about that, how, you know, how we can, what we need to do. And that was kind of, I think, the second step. Cause we didn't want to get like the assessors involved.
This was, we would have to approve this. And obviously budget for it, and then the second step was to figure out.
Okay, cause, yeah, when.
You don't wanna get everybody involved if you're
Right.
not, if you really don't want the project to go forward. If you don't wanna spend the money to see if it's viable to go forward. That's kind of where we're, the taking the baby steps in here. Is it really viable? Because you don't want the whole town to be paying for it. You don't want to exhaust all of your resources in your sewer fund. You know, what's it gonna cost people to hook up? And there's a lot of evaluation numbers that have to be done with this. It's, nobody's taking this lightly. But I want to just kind of bring it up. It was brought up originally when we were doing the analysis for the affordable housing numbers and the vacant land analysis and all that, was like, how much sewer capacity does the town have? Well, there's this number. Well, there was this project out here that could take some of that could or should or may take up that capacity. Was that project viable? Well, what was the reason for the project? Well, the original reason was you have all these people that have septic systems that are failing and they can't replace them because it's too small of a lot. So I'll leave it at that, but I just wanted to give you the number. That's what I was, you know, charged with to come back to just kind of give you an idea. You guys can talk about it over the next ever how many months, and then if you hate the idea of this project going forward, that's what it is. But I just want to report on that. Any questions I can
The
answer?
only thing I'd like to add to it is fortunately, the plans that Bryce has referred to were complete. Because there was already a loan through the USDA that had already got, so the plans themselves shouldn't need a lot of updating. They're already in place. The biggest problem is how many can hook up to it now because some have septics and things of that nature. So I don't think the engineering costs on the plan itself is going to be huge.
No, it should not be. No, I mean, obviously, we need to make sure it's up to standards and make sure nothing's changed, you know, there's no new utilities in the
But
way.
I think
things like
also
that.
though, and I know you're saying it's part of the second phase, knowing a rough estimate as to what the project's gonna cost. But I think you also need to be able, for us to make a positive decision, know what the long-term revenue and cost is to repay the loan.
Right.
And I don't think we can make a solid decision without knowing what that number is too. Cause you may turn around and say, well, Paul, it's gonna take 50 years and there's nobody gonna loan you money for 50 years. And then you need to start to rethink things. So that's why I think Brad should be kind of looking at that. Cause I think that's a piece of the puzzle.
Right, okay.
I mean, does everybody kind of agree with that? I mean, how would you know if you don't know how you can pay it back?
Cause I've already been approached by a couple of people saying that they don't wanna have to pay for it.
Well,
Yeah, so I know we discussed that the homes that would be hooking up would be reassessed. I guess that's figuring out how much, that was the hard part, figuring out.
That was the hard part, yeah, and that's where we don't wanna jump into that right now, and I know it's all part of the formula of, you know, do you wanna do this project or not, there's a lot of variables here. But yeah, there was discussions about the fact of, you know, the new hookups, obviously they have to pay up the hookup fee, and then they pay their quarterly,
You
you
don't know how
know,
many homes are. gonna
sewer,
hook up either. That
how
would
many,
be-
we don't know how right now, how many people actually put in septic systems since the original project was done. You know, I don't know what that, if
I'm
that,
not
Shouldn't
talking
Warren
about
County
people- I'm talking about people who don't live downtown.
Yeah,
I
right.
want- I don't
Shouldn't
think-
Warren County Board of Health be able to?
yeah,
provide
we
you
would
with that
have to
number?
pursue all that,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
we
They
can
would
find
be
that out.
assessed,
Right,
And that would have to cover the amount,
right.
Well,
yeah.
and with that being said, Brian, I don't think that it's going to cover it, so I think there's some outside expenses, but we don't know until we have a ballpark
But
number.
then the downside of that, then if you tell people downtown that they're gonna be reassessed. Probably not as big a problem. Last time we went through this, I had several people downtown who were older, some of them have passed away since. Said, I don't wanna pay and go through all the expenses at this point in my life, let my kids worry about it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So,
Like I said, you may, knowing the history of the project, knowing the people in the town, you may just say, look, it was shot down that many years ago, nothing's changed, it's not worth
Yeah.
pursuing, but the subcommittee wanted to bring it back up because there's multiple reasons to possibly do it,
right.
so. Have they changed people's minds since the original?
I mean, I think it would be great for them. I think the resale would be easy when people wanted to sell a house and everything, but everybody has their own thought process and reasons.
So that's all I'm doing right now, just bringing that conversation was had.
Okay,
And that's kind of the number we're looking at that we would need to be authorized to kind of get the ball rolling.
and I wanna piggyback something on Bryce here real too, because it came up at the meeting. Brad thinks it would be very possible to connect West Avenue to the sewer that's coming across from the affordable housing project, even though it's currently under preserved property, but it's already there. It was done beforehand. And Brad thought it would not be that difficult to tie into that, and he's looking into that also.
Okay.
Because West End's done until we get sewer out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna stay just the way it is.
So that's, you know, just if, make sure everybody's understanding what we're talking about, West Avenue over to the half-finished pump station that Dow did many, many years ago, which I haven't heard from Kevin for a while where things stand on that condemnation. I mean, we had the commissioners meeting back in December. They made a decision on what the award should be. I'm not sure if he's reported back to the town or not on that.
Well, actually, I thought they were appealing the commissioner's decision even. So,
I don't know if they, I haven't heard. I haven't
Yeah,
heard
I'm
back
not
from
sure.
Kevin on that or not, if the Dow side appealed it or not. They kind of came back in the middle of the road, so we didn't think they would. Cause the commissioners went a lot, went higher than what was the offer. So if the town ends up getting that sewer line and improves the sewer pump station, the question came up, how hard would it be to tie the line over to it? And the
Yeah.
hardest part was property between West Avenue and the pump station is in farmland preservation. There are existing easements on that property.
oh, okay.
One is a water easement, one is, I think it's not described. Obviously, the sewer line that we're talking about, the Dow sewer line is already in place. That's already there. That's not a question. It's running a new line kind of parallel to the off ramp 78. So Brad was kind of looking into that. I gave him some information on that. He was gonna kind of look into that to see if it was even possible. Just trying to bring the
Right.
town together, get it all connected together,
Mhm.
so. That's all I had. I didn't wave my arms too much on those things, so
Anybody have anything else for Bryce?
I talked more than you wanted me to, but I'm still learning.
Wait, everything you have is probably for executive?
Executive, and I guess the first topic on old business for the update, municipal complex update.
Yeah.
If you want to just get into that, so
Yeah, you can
basically,
do it.
yeah, so we had that meeting with the DCA regarding they thought the township made a choice limiting action with regard to the complex, because, I mean, for those who aren't familiar, or weren't on the meeting, we were going forward with the municipal building complex prior to getting the grant. Going forward as if the township was gonna pay for it itself, then we saw the grant. We already had it bonded for prior to the grant, and apparently those steps that we took weren't allowed under the grant requirements. Basically, the grant says that you get the grant, then you have to do everything else and do it to their regulations and make sure they approve everything. So we were kind of in a catch-22 where we couldn't have complied with that stuff. So we had the meeting with the DCA, bunch of members. They said that they would have to speak with HUD, see if they could, I guess they called it petition HUD to get an exemption for the choice limiting action. We're supposed to get a timeline to them on by I forget what the date was. It's probably the date I sent the letter, which is January 31st. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it before. We wanted to make sure the timeline had everything to show what we were doing. So we got to them on the day they wanted it. We reached out to DCA, made sure they needed anything else. They said that the HUD confirmed that a choice limiting action was taken, which I think we knew that that's what they were gonna say. And they're gonna continue with the petition process and reach out to us if they need anything else, and we haven't heard back from them at that point.
Okay. So that's also the municipal complex update as well, I guess, it's under letters as well.
Yes, yeah, hit it all in
Correspond, yeah.
one go.
Do we have anything on the Pavilion Park reservation policy update? You didn't have a meeting yet, open space.
Next
No,
Wednesday,
no.
Okay.
the first Wednesday of March.
Comcast, we have any updates or anything on that? Or anything to-
I have not any updates. I reached out to Comcast asking about the two streets that they have not done yet, and the response I got was they're working on a plan. We did confirm that the school did not want connections, so we got that cleared up. It's been a long enough period of time, I can reach back out to Bugard at Comcast to see what their plan is. Obviously, they're not really in a rush right now, because they're really not gonna do much this time of year anyway.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we're gonna have probably a lot of restoration we have to pay attention to come nice weather. There's not a whole lot going on right now. I mean, of course, there's not a whole lot of construction going on anywhere right now.
okay. Reinhardt Park, what's that on? Are we done with that?
I think we're waiting for the grant, right? See what we.
What's that?
Oh, Reinhardt Park, the grant?
The grant application was submitted, we just
Yeah,
gotta wait
we're just waiting
for,
on it.
when they,
And that's tied into the lights and the playground.
Okay. Okay. Looking for a motion to adopt resolution 3225 as a refund of tax overpayment. Resolution 3325 redemption of a tax lien. Resolution 3425, which is a reserve year-end transfer. So the year-end transfer, is that right?
It's a
Year-end?
reserve year transfer, yes.
Resolution 3525, a resolution supporting publishing legal notices on official government websites. And resolution 3625, approving a on-premise draw, a raffle for the Stewartsville Volunteer Fire Company. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
No, second,
Any questions, comments? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
3725, we're supposed to be awarding the bids tonight, are we doing that one? Because it's not on the list, but I have a resolution.
So we awarded them, but we needed to memorialize it with this resolution.
Okay. So looking for a motion to adopt resolution 3725. What note, memorializing that we awarded the bids last month? Or is that- Okay, so anybody will make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any further questions, comments on that? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Conservation easement, what are we doing on that?
Yeah, so I actually, I think it was probably sent to Mike and, I don't know if you reviewed it. I just looked at it. It looks fine, just cursory review, but I would just say, you can approve it subject to attorney review, so I can just get more background, talk to Mike and make sure everything's fine.
Okay.
Send out eventually then, if that's farmed, that's gonna be another lease. Like, this could potentially be another lease.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's,
So does anybody will make the motion then to authorize it pending
I will.
approval of legal? Okay, motion by Brian, anybody with second? I'll second. Any questions, comments, discussions on it? 26 lot 2, that's the one we just talked about earlier today too, is it? Anyway, no, roll call,
Mayor Barsney?
yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Old Greenwich Presbyterian Church request for special event at Thomas Stewart Park, June 7th, 5K fundraiser to benefit Warren County Family Promise. That gonna be, go to open space first and then come back to us or what?
So this one actually went to open space, I believe. Bill, were you part of that discussion?
I don't recall, but
It
these usually
was-
get passed by.
It
the
was some
committee,
time
but-
ago. There was some back and forth. Chief, you already talked to them about the route?
No,
No.
No, I just got-
Not this one.
I just got that last night, that application. When you,
Okay. Um,
no one's reached out to me.
So do we need to do an approval tonight on it or not?
well, the
We have it
information that
reserved
came to
for-
me from Jeremy, yeah, we
We have it
held it.
reserved ready for it.
And Jeremy indicated that open space and recreation were okay with it, so we might be now at the point where the chief would have to talk to them about the route. I did understand that they would change their mind.
Well, if we approve it, he always has the authority to
Yeah,
disapprove it.
yeah. However you guys wanna handle this one, but it is already being held for them, so.
Anyone want to make a motion to
I'll
approve?
make the motion based on, the chief's approval.
I'll second. Any further questions, comments on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsting?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Then we have the request from the fire company for a vendor fair. Doing the, what's up, this for a raffle or,
It's a car shop.
Oh, during the car show.
okay, so what's the fire company requesting? Did we already approve the car show?
I thought
I
we
can
just.
talk to the subcommittee because I thought this was all part of, between the booster doing it with the car show. So my subcommittee people need to get their head straight.
I threw this on the agenda because something came to me like third party and they said, you guys are approving that, right? So I scrambled and put it on, but I didn't get to talk to Joe today.
You know what it's about? I mean, it's the car show they do every year.
Yeah, it's a car show they do every year.
Should we approve it? I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't.
We already approved the
Yeah,
car show
fine.
date and everything last year.
Oh.
So this was an addition that I guess, another group wanted
Bless
to, bless you, incorporate a vendor fair.
Oh,
Trying to get foot traffic.
okay, so The Booster Club's doing the car show, the fire company's gonna do the vendors?
That's what I wasn't clear in our meeting, so if you can table till next month, it's not till May.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, it's for the fire company, so I don't know if it even needs a separate show, really.
Would you want games there then to bring in more?
What's that?
Do you want games that day or do you want me to black that out? If there's games like soccer, spring soccer would be,
Well, they said the car show is then, I don't know what they wanna do with the Booster Club side of that with the car
Okay.
show. That would be Brian Sullivan.
okay.
And, okay. Hercules Power Clean, permit, solicitation permit. Is everything filed properly, everything good with that, chief? You don't know anything about it?
And that might have been, was that last month that I did that?
Yeah, you've signed this one.
Yeah, that's good.
So we just have to approve it?
Correct.
I wanna make a motion to approve Hercules Power Clean.
Well, some clarity, is he just door hanging or is he knocking? We started to have that conversation earlier today, Lisa.
Yeah, this is for him to go door to door, just to solicit his business, not just post.
Power washing. He
Probably wants to go knock on people's doors and say, do you want your house? Power
right, no, yeah. Well, I mean,
I assume.
It says.
again, I mean, it's come up, you know, that we've done it for the solar people. We've done it for Comcast. I just don't, you know, no soliciting's no soliciting. How many people are we going to let just because they ask permission? Because we're knocking on people's homes, you know, and it's power washing at the same level as
I'm assuming it's a house.
Comcast and solar. I mean, cause just don't know how many people we should be allowing doing door to door.
Probably a young kid just.
Yeah, yeah, he's 84, born in, no, not 84, he should. It's older than our kids. No, he's born in
40, 41.
Okay, well, anyway, did we get a motion to approve it or not?
Well, Paul.
No, I'm just throwing it out at where does the line get drawn? We have no solicitors. I know people have mentioned what gives us the right to allow soliciting when we have no soliciting. And we've certainly made exceptions with solar and this, but at what point a power washing company, you know, does that rank up there with solar and Comcast or?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not a big fan of soliciting, but, with that being said, if they're a resident, I don't know.
But, well, I understand that, but suppose next week then now, Brian, I can't think of his last name, he lives up on Iron Wolf, who's got a huge power washing company in your neighborhood, you know that?
I don't.
Yeah, Brian's is he gonna wanna do the same thing?
Yeah.
Cause he's already doing a lot of residents anyway, but, you know, would he say, hey, I wanna go knock on doors too? You know, I said, I have mixed feelings on the subject matter.
We have approved lawn care and realtor in the
Oh.
past.
Lawn care? I don't recall approving lawn care, but if you say so.
Also a resident.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, I do remember that one now, right. I'm sure I voted no on that one, but.
Why didn't we ever give the exemption deal for solar?
Well, again, yeah,
I should never.
because at the time, it was such a big movement on solar and green and renewable, even though it's only renewable, it's not green. You know, the state was advocating it, might have just caved to the system personally. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying I'm not gonna vote for it, but at what point?
Well, I guess if we start getting inundated, then we gotta make a decision.
Right.
Yeah, if people start calling and saying, what's going on? I have all these solicitors, I guess. That's when we say we.
And is he restricted to no Sundays at least on this one too, Lisa?
Yeah, in accordance with the ordinance.
All right.
Anybody will make a motion to approve it? Scared everybody, Paul.
That wasn't my intention.
Well, here's the question, if we don't approve, and where, like you said, where do you draw the line? So if we don't, no one makes the motion, it's getting drawn tonight, I guess.
I guess, yeah,
But remember that, next month, if you get one. Nobody better make a motion to accept it.
right,
So, I'm just trying to,
no,
so I guess the time for
Oh,
the
well,
discussion
it-
is now.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Okay, we got a motion, anybody want a second? I'll second it. Any more questions, comments, roll call,
Mayor Barsney?
yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
yes.
Mr. Kenya?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
No,
Okay. Correspondence. More materials and executive, right?
Yeah, we can, discuss that in executive.
Okay, it does matter, man, and we already did DCA. I got a couple emails. Got an email requesting a street light on Beatty's Road near the park. On that sharp corner. I shared it with Joe and Rich and Lisa. The trucks when they go there keep running over that one property. A few months back, Joe went up and put big boulders on it to prevent it, but I guess they're hitting the boulders now. And the homeowner feels like if the intersection was better lighted, they'd be able to make it turn better, but I think some of them are happening during the day anyway. We're not having any trouble at the park that we need lights for security, correct?
Correct.
I'm sure his intention is not to help the truckers. I hate to do anything and make anything easier for the trucks. But. Have you been out to look? I mean, do we really think that a light will do anything there?
I don't think so.
I don't,
Like you said, they run over during the day.
yeah, that's what my thought process is, but. You know where I'm talking about, Beatty's, right? Where you go into the.
Yeah, no, I know right where they, yeah.
That sharp curve.
Yeah, that curve. No, I would have thought the boulder would have somewhat solved the problem, but
I guess it has solved some of it.
He did say it solved a lot, and he thanked us for that. I mean, but he just threw the idea out thinking, but. And like I said, I'm sure he's not doing it to make it easier for the trucks, because I will do nothing to help the trucks.
let's put a few more boulders up.
Well, no, can't put any more than what we have.
I have to go move them back once
Oh.
they're moved anyway,
Yeah,
because that's not when you're rolling.
no.
We gotta take the machine down and move it.
so I guess, let's get back to him and tell him that.
I just think it'd
We
be,
don't foresee it being,
yeah, I would think it'd be so cost prohibitive.
I don't think it's cost prohibitive, right? I mean. I don't know how much we pay for a light a month, yeah.
No, well, getting it a light there.
Yeah,
And then,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
gonna charge us to put it there.
Yeah, we don't have any lights
up 80.
No, right.
no.
Can't go run it off.
I mean, that's a couple of poles, some wires, street
Is
light.
there a pole right there at the end?
Yeah. There's
I was gonna say, I
There
thought
is a
cars that
pole.
run into that pole, so.
there's a pole right there.
I thought cars that run into that.
Still,
pole.
So I mean, maybe a pole like that. I didn't realize there was a pole right there.
Not for now, I guess I just tell them that we just don't think at this point it'll resolve anything, right?
Right.
Then I got an email from a woman complaining that the people with their dogs in the park, and she's a dog owner, so aren't picking up the dog's waste, so. She said, I don't know, maybe you need more waste, stations. I said to her, I don't know who was on the committee then, but a few years back, we put more up when Brad was on. I remember I actually took a picture and sent it to Brad. Somebody's dog actually went to the bathroom at the base of the post where the plastic bags were, and they didn't use it. So, more stations, I don't think is a resolution. And, you know, I said it before, I don't use the park that much, but when I did use it a few years back, I thought there was a lot of waste there. But no one seems to complain a lot about it, so
I
I
have gotten a couple complaints
have you.
and
mean-
I asked them to come to the meeting because.
I mean, we are the dog park because Lopac nobody else allows dogs. Everybody comes here to walk their dogs, but.
And
So
they're
maybe you
saying
put a
that-
sign up saying, hey, township committee is considering eliminating, dogs on the park. Because of, you're not picking up your waste.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Warning.
And I just think of late too, and I don't know if this is ongoing for her, or it's, they haven't been able to walk the dogs too far off the path. You know, because of the icy
I was just
conditions and
gonna say,
Uh,
things, so, You know, maybe it's a little bit more noticeable right now.
I walked it the other day with Colleen and Tom, and they were pooping right there, and the people just kept walking.
Right.
In front of us on the sidewalk, I was like a lunatic.
Can we put a sign up, a warning sign that this is gonna
I
be?
think as soon as you enter that park, there should be the township's considering
How hard
eliminating
would that be to get
dogs,
Sign up,
you know? Clean up
yeah.
or say goodbye.
Print plus, is print plus big enough?
I can
signs?
probably get someone a motion.
Do something on core plastic.
Plywood or something.
Yeah, I think they need to be warned.
The sad part is, the people who are doing that aren't gonna care about that.
Well, right, and a few bad eggs, and again, ruin it for everybody, right?
I mean, I brought it up years ago when I was on, but it doesn't bother me enough to make a motion to put a dog ban in. And actually, one or two people came up to speak against the dog ban, but, I mean, but, and I guess if we continue, and like I said, she's a dog owner, so it's not like she says, I pick up after mine. All I wanted people pick up after theirs, but you're always gonna have people who aren't gonna do it, so. And then I got a big month for emails. I got two emails regarding trees
Oh,
coming down during these storms. And I forwarded it to Mike today. I wanna come up with a standard answer, but a tree fell on on a power line up the street here from our property and took out their service panel, everything on the house, and cost them a couple $1,000 repair. Their insurance company told them, you have to go to the township for that, they own the property. But most people understanding is that they're acts of God and your own home insurance should cover that, but I just wanna get an answer. I mean, if we owe the people money, we owe the money, but,
Yeah, we should discuss an executive.
okay, and, we got another one about, similar to that, where, tree was in the road. And the police and the DPW cleared the road and put it on the property, and the woman, and I have that email too, so I guess we talk about that in
Yeah.
executive too. But I want to come up with a standard answer we can actually put on the township website about it, because in the last year, nearly after every storm, I've either gotten an email or a phone call from somebody complaining that the DPW put their tree, but they pushed the tree back on my property, the town should have cleaned it up. So, I just wanna come up with an answer that's consistent, we give the same answer all the time, and if we have to pay for something, we have to pay for it, but we're talking about an executive. Okay. Everything else is executive. Anybody have anything else for public?
Lisa, what's up with this bicentennial,
Yeah.
did you hand this out?
I did. I'm
Yeah.
showing it to everyone. I haven't received an answer from, Greg Alaska. I don't know if Lillian's heard anything from him. I always share these to him, for historical. So I thought I'd throw it out to the whole committee. They're doing like a last call for this, so maybe if any of you feel strongly about it, you could bring it to the historic committee or do something on our own.
actually, I think the law talking about it. He hasn't said anything to you.
No,
about it?
nothing's come back to me, but I think they're paying 50%, like up to $500, so it's a nice opportunity to replace a sign or get one up if we want one, so. Just let me know.
Okay. Anybody have anything else, public? I'll make a motion. We open public comment. Anybody want a second? All in favor? Aye. Anyone wish to make a public comment? Saying none, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Looking for a motion to go into executive for
Motion.
all attorney-client privilege stuff. Got a motion over here. Anybody want a second? All in favor? Aye.
It's funny.
Okay, I'll make a motion. We come out of executive session.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Township committee met in executive session where it discussed privilege matters regarding attorney-client privilege, data center development, attorney-client privilege, business landlord registration, attorney-client privilege, tree issues, and attorney-client privilege warrant materials. Minutes from the executive session will be released at such time as the committee deems no public harm will come from it and no official action was taken.
Anybody have anything else?
No.
Looking for a motion to adjourn.
make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.